The Saints have freed up $30 million of cap space. What the hell are they going to do about it, ladies and gentlemen? Why? Why are they stockpiling the monies? So today we're going to talk about that. Nick Underhill's the backdrop, New Orleans football. The cap, nothing has befuddled and confounded the masses like the salary cap. I get tagged in posts every single day, every single time the cap changes. Whether it's the cap for this year, whether it's the cap for next year, people will say, well, look, now the cap next year, we're in the negative. Look, look, look. And then some people will say, well, wait a minute, we have $30 million of cap space this year. Look, look, look. Guys, the cap is fluid. Every single time a player is cut, traded, signed, drafted, whatever, the cap's going to move. We'll be up $5 million one week, $30 million the next week, negative the next week, $20 million the next week. Like, we are in cap manipulation season. We are in fluctuation season. Quit looking at the cap. If overthecap.com is on your favorites bar, get rid of it. Get a hobby. Get a dog. Do something else. Go get a hacky sack. Like, watching the cap every single day is insane. Watching the 2026 cap right now, today, in March, is bananas. It's a waste of time. It's going to change. The forecast will change. All of that will move. All right. The only thing you have to know is that the doomer salary cap hell stuff is not a thing. That's it. All you got to know is we've got maneuverability. What we do with it, how much, when we'll deploy it, all that's wait and see. But all you got to know is the salary cap hell stuff ain't true.
The Saints have cleared up $30 million in cap space, and the question is, what are they going to do with it? I'm Nick Underhill, and you're watching the doc presented by Matt Powers Auto Group. Kai Harley has done his thing yet again. All the doom and gloom predictions about how they're going to have to cut everybody was proven wrong. They've kept all their players, and they got everybody in-house, and they're sitting on $30 million in cap space. The problem is there aren't a lot of obvious places to go out and spend this money.
So I mean, like, it's a weird... The whole thing was kind of weird because if we had this money 2 weeks ago, I would have said, well, it's probably to go get Mekhi Becton. Like, it's probably to go get your big splash guy, go get him, and that'll be it. But like Nick said, right now, it's hard to identify and focus on, well, what is that for? Now, that's a large chunk to have freed up right now. And you wouldn't do it unless you needed to. Right now, I have worked myself into a shoot. I have absolutely shot myself right into a work. And I have created this conspiracy theory that they're doing it to offset the hit that they would take by trading Derek Carr to draft Cam Ward. Now, that is absolutely nuts. Absolutely crazy. One of the craziest things that could ever happen. One of the most insane things that's out there. But it's not totally impossible. Is it going to happen? 99% chance no, right? But it could. And you don't even have to trade with the Titans. Like, if you know the Titans want Abdul Carter, and you know the Browns want Travis Hunter, then you got to trade with the Giants. And now going from 9 to 3, do the Giants want Cam Ward? Would they rather have Derek Carr and some capital? I don't know. It's not nothing. It's not something, but it's not nothing.
Big time difference makers, the big money players, the guys that you sign and think are going to change your team or your future, even though they often don't, have already signed and are playing for other teams, which puts the Saints in a position where there aren't a lot of big-time players left on the open market. Now, I don't think they are done completely adding guys to their team. I just don't think they're going to be out there battling people to sign any players, and there really aren't any players worth battling over. We saw them go after Cooper Kupp, and their effort there was serious, but they got outbid by the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, I mean, Cooper Kupp signs basically a $50 million deal, which is nuts. So I'm glad we got outbid there.
And they wanted Ward, and they thought they had him in their building until the Colts swung in and took the cornerback away from them. So I think now they're just going to sit back, they're going to wait, and they're going to try to pounce where it makes sense to pounce. And a lot of times that's how this phase of free agency plays out. It can be painfully slow.
The Saints have proven that they're willing to kind of sit back. Like the Saints have proven they are willing to sit back and pick their spots. They're not. They don't want to go overboard and overextend for somebody. They're not going to get into a bidding war. So this could be a situation where there's nothing there. Like it could be a situation where they aren't necessarily stockpiling cash for a specific player. More so, they're just stockpiling cash to be ready to deploy when they want to deploy it. Which, man, talk about a different situation for Saints fans, right? Like, talk about a different situation where we are now one of those teams where we just have cash on hand. Like, we just kind of sitting here with cash just to have cash. There's no real reason why we have it. There's no specific reason. It's just, oh, yeah, we just have cash in the vault, and we're just ready when we're just ready if a free agent pops up that we like, then we can get active.
And sometimes you do get big name players, and it's at the end of the wire. It's after the draft. It's after other guys have hooked on. It's after some of these players have had to come with reality that they're no longer $20 million players, and they might have to play somewhere for $8. I think that's the market the Saints are going to.
Yeah, remember, a lot of the times players will go test free agency because they think their market is way bigger than it is. They get rebuked in free agency, and then they settle down and they sign a little bit of a better deal.
Shopping in. We've seen them get Tyrann Mathieu years ago, kind of under similar circumstances. Jarvis Landry ended up here under similar circumstances. So I think they're going to be looking for that caliber of player, and sometimes it takes a little bit for things to shake out. But here's the thing. If they don't spend this cap space, they can roll it over to next year and just pay off some of their debt. So the Saints aren't in a bad position right now. They're just in a position where I think they have to wait for some things to play out.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of what I mean, like, with this cap thing. You got $30 million in cap right now. Last I checked, they're like $6 million negative next year. Well, if we're rolling this over, y'all can do the math, right? That covers the negative. So, like, it's so fruitless to get bogged down in the hour-by-hour cap conversation. It really just needs to be as simple as we got the monies. And that's it. And we're good. And we're good moving forward. Like everyone, I mean, I don't know what the hell would happen to the Saints Reddit if everybody just held hands and agreed, like, yeah, we actually are not in cap hell. We're actually just kind of chilling. Like, we're just kind of chilling, and we can kind of do what we want. I'm not sure what would happen to the Saints subreddit. I really don't know. But let's talk about the Cam Ward thing, because that's why you're all here. So this is in my mind how this could play out. If you trade Derek Carr, it's the same as releasing him. All right, now Carr has a no trade. We're talking in like fantasy world here. We're talking in big fantasy world. Okay, we're talking in some serious Disneyland Lion King type scenarios. So what I'm thinking is they know, okay, we're going to take a significant hit. Now, the reason you wouldn't want to take that hit is that you restructure Carr going into next year, or you can do the post-June 1 cut, whatever. You move some stuff around, then you can split the cap hit up over the following couple of seasons to where instead of eating it all at once, you just kind of, whatever, $8 million here, $8 million there, whatever. This is all made up numbers. Like, this is all just a straight up Rob Deerdeck fantasy factory situation. So my thought is, well, if they had the opportunity to trade Carr to get a draft pick, to get Cam Ward, then they would be freeing up money to offset having to take the huge dead cap hit up front. All right. That's the first thing I thought of with this. Well, why would they need $30-ish million freed up? Is it to take that hit? Is it to have some wiggle room to take something like that? Now, you may say, well, why did they restructure Carr then? Again, this is all a super fluid situation. Is this something that came out of absolutely nowhere? Is this part of a conversation that just happened and they didn't see it coming? They never thought this could be possible. They never in a million years would have thought, yeah, we could just trade this guy to go up and get Cam Ward. But then maybe a conversation happened to where this becomes a little bit more real. Maybe they're having their conversations with Derek Carr's people because, again, he would have to agree to the trade since he has a no trade clause. Would Derek Carr want to go play for the Giants? If I'm reading the tea leaves that don't exist, if I'm looking through the smoke that doesn't exist. We still haven't heard from Derek Carr. We know the restructure happened, but the restructure was not because of Carr. The restructure was already built into the contract. So he had no say in the actual restructure. So we have no clue what Carr's thinking. We have no clue what his team is saying and what his, what he wants to do with the season. But I mean, I would think it just still, to me, seems awkward. It still, to me, seems weird. Like, no one's heard about him. No one's heard from him. I know it's the off season, but it just seems weird that he'd just show up one day, be like, all right, guys, I'm here. I'm the quarterback. It's like, damn, dude, where have you been? What's going on here? So some of that does lend itself to, he would, because we had the reports that he was testing or wanted to test the market / test other options of teams that needed quarterbacks. The Giants are certainly a team that needs a quarterback. We had heard rumors that the Giants were going to, and they could still be, in the market for Aaron Rodgers. With all of that, does it make it less likely that they would want Cam Ward? Does it make it less likely? I don't know. It is an interesting and fun thing to think about. It would be the biggest thing the Saints have done since Ricky Williams. It is insane to think about, especially for me, especially for someone who, does these videos and all that. It is absolutely insane to think about if the Saints did this. Because can you imagine if you really put yourself in a position where you're sitting there and you're thinking, you're just going through your day and you see a Twitter breaking news come through. New Orleans Saints traded Derek Carr. So, okay, wow, that's interesting. It's huge news. To the New York Giants and package for the 3rd overall pick. Hold up. Now all of a sudden you're sitting 3rd overall. Now all of a sudden they're doing it for a reason. Is it Cam Ward? Then if they are, you're thinking, damn. We went from, is Jake Haener the franchise quarterback? Is Spencer Rattler the franchise quarterback? We just got Cam Ward, the number 1 quarterback in the class. Damn, what just happened? Now, obviously, this is coming off of the heels of the Cam Ward interview. We touched on it last week, but this is a fun thing to think about. And in a world where everything is very serious with sports analysis, the offseason is made for stuff like this. The offseason is made for anything is possible. The offseason is made for, well, what if the Saints trade Derek Carr, free up $30 million in cap space to take the hit for Derek Carr's dead cap hit to trade up to get Cam Ward? That is what life is all about. And again, do I think this is going to happen? No. But can I sit here and say that it is 100% not going to happen? I can't say that either. So this would be the greatest thing of all time. I mean, I'm not even sure how good Cam Ward is, but I know for sure this would be about as exciting as it would get to see a team do. This would be crazy as hell to do. Now, as far as should they do it, depends on how good Cam Ward is. Because if Cam, should the Bears have traded up to get Mitchell Trubisky? No. But if they traded all that to get Patrick Mahomes, who gives a shit? Yeah, of course. I'm not saying Cam Ward's Patrick Mahomes, but it's completely dependent on how good Cam Ward is. It's a fun thing to think about. I would love at this point if there was just a little baby bit of evidence, because all of this is just strictly conspiracy theory. All of this is strictly I mean, sure. They could free up the $30 million. This $30 million could be for 2 cornerbacks and a guard, just some free agents, whatever. Or this $30 million could be to eat some of the dead cap, free up a little bit so the hit's not as bad, and a trade package to get Cam Ward. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know on a Friday. If you think there's any chance in this, or if this is insane. Would you like to see this? And if not, what do you think the $30 million is for? Do you think it's for a big splash free agent? Do you think it's for a couple of free agents, or do you think it's just to have some cash? Let me know. Thank you very much for watching. TGIF, and I will see you in the next video.